Alright guys, back with another video. So today Pierre put out this here on X. It says, Pierre will impose life sentences for fentanyl kingpins. Overdoses have killed 49,000 people. Canadians under liberal open borders and soft on crime laws. Fentanyl traffickers are mass murderers. Lock them up and throw away the key. Then he put out this 5-minute clip here. Let's have a look at this and then we'll talk about it after like usual.
Recognize this place? This is Brandon, Manitoba. Population, just over 50,000. A small, beautiful city like many others that dot the Canadian landscape. Now, imagine if every person in Brandon vanished. Well, since 2016, we've lost a city the size of Brandon to drugs. That's 49,000 Canadian lives lost. More than died fighting for Canada in the Second World War. They are real people, brothers, sisters, sons, daughters, fathers, mothers, friends to thousands more. Then there are the countless others now living in the hell of addiction and homelessness. Close to 8 out of 10 of those overdose deaths involve fentanyl. It wasn't like this before the Liberals radically liberalized drugs. Now, Canada has become a drug manufacturing hotspot. Super labs in Canada synthesize the drugs using precursor chemicals, the ingredients that make fentanyl. These labs look like scenes from Breaking Bad, but it's not happening in New Mexico, in a TV drama. It's happening in Canada, in real life, right now. In November 2024, police dismantled what they described as the, quote, largest, most sophisticated illicit drug super lab in the country, in Falkland, British Columbia. One of the accused was out of jail after earlier convictions. Police said they seized 54 kilograms of fentanyl. Now, that might not sound like much at first, but remember this, it takes just 2 milligrams of fentanyl to kill a person. That means there was enough fentanyl found in this lab alone to kill 27 million people. But it gets worse. Police found enough ingredients to make over 95 million lethal doses, enough to kill every Canadian twice. Police also found 390 kilograms of methamphetamine, small explosives, ammunition, silencers, high-capacity magazines, body armor, $500,000 in cash, and 89 firearms, many of which were, quote, loaded and ready to be used. Days earlier, police discovered a super lab in Langley, BC, that they say was capable of producing multiple kilograms of fentanyl on a weekly basis. A Government of Canada report confirmed, and I quote, seizures of Canada-sourced fentanyl in places like the US and Australia suggest that domestic production is likely exceeding domestic demand and that Canada is now a source and transit country for fentanyl to some markets. The number of seizures of fentanyl at the Canada-US border more than tripled between 2023 and 2024, rising from 239,000 doses to 839,000. How did this happen? Well, the NDP Liberals happened. They legalized fentanyl possession in BC, told prosecutors to stop pursuing drug offenders, and worst milligrams. The people we will lock away are not non-violent drug addicts. People with addiction are the real victims of these traffickers. And my government will offer them life-saving treatment and recovery services. Nor are we targeting the small-time dealer on a street corner, though he will face penalties too. Rather, my new law will treat fentanyl kingpins who kill thousands of Canadians each year like the mass murderers they are. By locking up the big bosses and throwing away the key, we will cut the head off the poisonous fentanyl snake. All of this to save lives, bring our loved ones home drug-free, secure free trade, and most of all, put Canada first.
First of all, I mean, guys, what's going on in British Columbia? Like, all these examples of these drug dens were from BC. It's kind of, I'm sure it's just a coincidence. I'm, not talking trash about British Columbia. It's just kind of an odd thing. So the first thing he talks about is, 8 out of 10 deaths, overdose deaths, are from fentanyl, which shows you how dangerous it is. And listen, I know people who've unfortunately succumbed to that. And I'm telling you right now, it does not take much. He showed the picture there of like a tiny little amount next to a penny, and it was tiny next to a penny. That's how much can kill you. It's really, really, really dangerous. And then, of course, all the drug dens in BC that are not only filled with fentanyl, but they're filled with meth, explosives, armor, firearms, etc., etc. I mean, there's just nothing but danger that comes with it. Not to mention, it's not even that safe to make fentanyl. I mean, you can have an explosion, right? And that could kill people. They have these drug dens often in the remote area. Well, that's not a bad way to start a fire either, right? Now next thing you know, you got a major forest fire, which we have problems with here. And then, of course, the Liberals with the Bill C-5 basically protecting criminals, allowing them back on the street, making it really easy for them to sell it, because even if they get caught, they know they'll be out of jail quickly. So who cares, right? That's what happens when you're soft on crime. You get more of it. Liberals don't seem to understand this. Now, there's been some people who've been putting out numbers and, they actually seize way less fentanyl here in Canada than they do in the United States. Yeah, that's because we're crappy. We're doing a really crappy job at catching it. And that's what happens when you only check 1% of shipping containers, for example. Now, there's other ways to ship fentanyl in here illegally, but it's very clear that we have a very porous border. Okay, when you have a border that's made out of Swiss cheese, of course you're going to have a bunch of fentanyl coming through it. And, of course there's going to be more of it in the States. There's more people. But that being said, they only track they can only track numbers that they've caught, right? Like the amount of fentanyl that they've seized. That's the numbers that are available. Well, how much have they not seized? Right? We don't know that, but we all know it's a lot. So, securing that border is number one. I don't care which side is worse. We both need to work together, Canada and America, to get that border solved, so that, like Pierre said, no more mothers have to bury their face and their hands in agony because they just lost a son or daughter. He said son specifically, but that's because it's, generally speaking, it's way more men who overdose from drugs than women do. And then what he talks about at the very last there, where he says, mass fentanyl dealers equals a mass murder. And he's absolutely right. It's like spraying bullets into a crowd. And just like he said, 100% on the ball. You don't know who you're killing, but you're killing people. And then when he talks about targeting kingpins, that's how you get this, right? Like, if you just target the small little dealers, well, that doesn't hurt the kingpins. The kingpins will just replace the dealers really easily. Like within an hour. Like, you'd be surprised how quick it is. So if you target the kingpins, the dealers don't have the drugs, and therefore you'll have no street dealers either. Now, of course, this is a tall order, right? You're never going to get it to where it's perfect, but the way things have gone in the last 10 years are clearly unacceptable. Pierre Poilievre is tired of it. I'm tired of it. I'm sure most of you are tired of it. The only people who aren't tired of it are Liberals. Stephen Harper was right. They're not liberals. They're not Marxists even. They're nihilists. They want to destroy things. It's very clear that they're doing that. Trump puts in a 25% tariff and everyone's up in arms. But when the carbon tax goes up, nothing. When rent doubles over 10 years, nothing. Liberals love taxes, just except for when conservatives do it, I guess. I don't know. They're very, very strange group of people these days. But let me know what you guys think. The other day I posted a video of Pierre Poilievre with a great ad. This might have actually topped it. I mean, all this guy does is put out really, really good ads. But let me know what you guys think. Please don't be shy. Please also don't forget to like and subscribe to this video. Or sorry, like and subscribe to this channel because it really helps me grow. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back shortly with a new video.